everyone, and welcome to Bottom Line with Roni and Byron. We have some news to get to you today, and we're going to start with Volunteers of America bringing more affordable homes to Jackson County.
And for national news, we're going to talk about how Governor DeSantis, Tim Scott, The Rock could give former President Trump a run for his money.
And then we'll switch to sports and talk about a local native from Malone, Vernette Skeete, being named the head coach at Texas Southern.
And for entertainment, we'll talk about how T.I. responds to being booed during his comedy set at the Barclays Center.
And then we'll switch to our relationship tea topic and discuss how do you, husbands, adjust to your honey-do list. So Byron, let's get started. We're going to start with our local and state news. Our local and state news is brought to you by Broadway Insurance. Broadway Insurance is located here in Marianna. So Byron, what is happening? We have more affordable homes coming to Jackson County. Volunteers of America of Florida approached our Jackson County Board of County Commissioners on Tuesday night, and they asked for $1.7 million. And initially when they requested this money, it was denied, but they have been approved, and they will be basically building 35 homes in Jackson County. Now, it's supposed to be located on State Road 73, which is out by, I'm not sure if you know where WTYS is, but it's out in that area. So that's going to be good, Byron. What do you think about that?
That's great news. Now, it's another organization stepping up alongside with the Chipola area Habitat for Humanity. And once again, this is what it's going to take, everybody. A lot of times we look to the politicians, our national state politicians, but a lot of times it's going to take in-house for us to make these fixes for us in our local communities to help towards our affordable housing. We definitely need it. Now this money that they got it from the Board of County Commissioners.
Yes, they are getting it from the Board of County Commissioners here in Jackson County. Yeah.
So that's great news. So I'm stoked about it, because that's one of the biggest things that on my campaign that I made, a big point of fact about how affordable housing is, something that's greatly needed. Our average household income is pushing the poverty line. People need, we need that help, and we need to do something to boost. And this helps boost our local economy. We want people to come here, stay here. And we also want to take care of the residents that have been here their entire lives, generations and generations, to kind of try to grow this area. So I love it. What about you?
I think it's great. Again, this will be 35 units of workforce and low income housing.
That's a lot.
Yeah, man. 35, off of State Road 73. Now, this organization, Volunteers of America of Florida, is actually based out of St. Petersburg, and they've been around for decades, building homes in communities. So they are projected, Byron, to start construction in November, and they're saying they should wrap it up like a year later. So
that's good.
Yeah, so we have, like you mentioned, Chipola, Habitat for Humanity, bringing homes here. Now we have another organization and doing the same thing. So this is awesome news. And then I'm going to go on to another viable, what we need, I should say, just critical things that we need in this area, and that's going to be jobs. So Byron, the Spanish Trail Lumber Company has 20 openings, and they are looking to fill those. And they are really kind of gearing towards the people that lost their jobs or will be losing their jobs at the West Rock Paper Mill.
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah. 450 employees that will be losing their jobs in June. Unfortunately, West Rock is located in Bay County, and they're closing their doors in June. But Spanish Trail Lumber Company will be hiring 20, for 20 positions, and they're going to start off at $18 an hour. So make sure you go on their website and kind of check out and see, what they have available. Now it says that, they're entry-level positions, and they will include like equipment operations, running computers, and working control panels. So that's what we're looking at here. So again, keep your eye on that. Now, we Go ahead.
Well, I was about to say real quick for those that may not be familiar. I know when people hear job titles and it kind of thwarts them off. But when they're entry level, that means you'll get trained to do it. So all you got to do is, have the viables and be willing to work and apply for these jobs. It's an entry level, so not much experience is required. So, and even if it isn't, hey, a lot of times you never know, but apply for these jobs because there's no reason to. It's out there. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and that is good, especially that they will be training for these positions. Mm-hmm. Now, for those that are not aware, that West Rock company, like I mentioned before, is closing their doors on June 6th. So that's 450 jobs that will be lost. So that is gonna, be a big impact in the Bay County area.
Yeah, it's surprising that they don't have any way to relocate them to other. I'm pretty sure they got other paper mill businesses or something like that. Maybe they're too far away. I don't know. I'm not too versed into that company and their chains or their organization. But and then I read that a lot of those positions were people that were making up to 100,000 plus a year. So that's going to be a big hit for somebody that their whole livelihood is based off of that income, and now they go to nothing and trying to find something else to do. So many of these jobs that they're not based on degrees, but the experience that they have built up towards. So they have to find another paper mill to go to.
Yeah, and that paper mill had been in business for 92 years, Byron. 92 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of one of these local prisons, going away. That would be devastating.
Yeah.
To say the least.
All right, and then I'm going to just want to switch over to what happened this past weekend, the Teen Driving Challenge, which is sponsored by our Jackson County Sheriff's Office Department. And Byron, if you see on the pictures right here, they had 11 students that were taken out to the Ag Center, and they were given driving skills. It lasted from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And the teens would bring their own car. If they didn't have a car, they could, they would be provided a car, and just taught everything from changing tires to shuffling, just driving skills. So they had a great turnout. And I just want to mention they are having another class from May 7th. If you have a teen that's 15 years old or older, you must have your permit, but you can sign up for this class. And again, the next class, it will be taking place on May the 7th. And if you are interested, just email teendriver@jacksonso.com. That's teendriver@jacksonso.com, and sign your teen up for the next class that will take place on May the 7th. Again, Byron, I want to talk about Broadway Insurance, which is located here in Marianna. They're located on Caledonia Street. So if you have any needs regarding insurance, such as property insurance, life insurance, auto insurance, give them a call. You can reach them, anytime, Monday through Friday, and they're open on Saturdays as well. So Byron, let's go on to, I want to talk about some state news. Our governor, and I think this is awesome, Governor DeSantis has basically signed a bill to address the fatherhood crisis. And this bill is called Responsible Fatherhood Initiative. And Byron, what it does is basically helps, fathers with parenting skills. I think this is much needed. We've always, talked about what can be, or wonder what can be done regarding the issues with absentee fathers. Well, right now, this initiative will help fathers find employment, manage child support obligations, and transition from being incarcerated. What do you think about that?
I absolutely love it. Great minds think alike. Be on the lookout for many activities, many events coming the next year regarding Emancipation Day Festival and what we're going to put on. because one of the biggest things that I've had these conversations with a lot of men, with a lot of women, exactly, in reference to men and fatherhood, and how, it's a big gap out there, and how, those of us that's out there doing our job and being exceptional fathers, we need to come, we need that space, not just to support each other, but to also bump each other up, and also reach out to the next young men out there, and even young boys, to give them the exemplification of what right looks like, even though sometimes we feel challenged, and sometimes we don't always feel confident. We definitely need to be a voice, and need to be a space for all the fathers out there, because it's a tough road, and when we talk about mental health, it's so hard sometimes trying to keep on that tough guy bravado as men, and we need that space. But fatherhood is so needed, that exemplification for our young boys. And right now, in today's age, everybody's trying to tell people and men what they should and should not be. I love it, but fatherhood is very big right now, and ain't nobody gonna tell me dad ain't important. Dad is very important,
Right. Well, this bill is, I mean,
yeah.
I think is awesome. It addresses the fatherhood crisis, which is how they're stating it. But it provides $70 million to bolster programs aimed at equipping dads with parenting resources. But it also has another part to it. It also helps foster youth. So the law increases the stipend. There's a stipend given for young adults who previously was in foster care, who are attending post-secondary school. So that stipend will go from $1,256 to $1,720. So again, that law includes that as well, giving youth that were in foster care and that are attending post-secondary schools a stipend. So
that's great. That's great.
Whole bill, and it's House Bill 7065. It passed unanimously in the House and the Senate. So it is a good initiative. So kudos for that. And I just want to go on to let everybody know, everybody already know, but Marshall's has been in full swing for a couple of weeks now. And I got a chance to go to Marshall's on the grand opening. I went there, and as you see the pictures right here, saw some fans that watched the show and snapped a few pictures, but Marshall's is open. I've only been there once since then, Byron, just once.
I don't believe.
Yeah, it's my store, but I've only been once. So you know what I'm waiting on? And you tell me this. I don't know if anybody picked up on this. I guess because I'm a Marshallaholic, there are no red tags. So that's why I really haven't bought a whole lot. I bought some makeup and stuff like that.
So tell us what the red tag is.
The red tag, if the clearance section, each section, the juniors, the women's, athletics, each section will have a clearance section, and that tag will have a red tag on it with the reduced price. So if you notice in this store so far, you have not seen that.
Well, I bet people watching now gonna make sure they get them red tags. Y'all get on them. They better get them red tags out.
Yeah, not out yet, Byron. They have not yet. Yeah. So what have you bought since you've been there?
I went window shopping. So I think I get a shirt, but I ain't gonna lie. That's gonna be the new the Hobby Lobby for me.
Okay.
So yeah, I sent a lot of nice, button down shirts and khakis, and then even with, I'm a leisure man. I like to wear the shorts and the jogging pants, the comfortable fit. I like to wear stuff like that too. So I already know they're gonna get a good little chunk of my income. Yeah.
Well, how about this? There are talks that TJ Maxx is also coming to Marianna.
See, now y'all playing with me now. Me and TJ Maxx go way back.
Yeah, TJ Maxx is supposedly coming here too. Now I'm gonna dig a little bit more on my sources, but I've heard it a couple of times. So We're going to keep our eye on that, but I'm still a Marshall fan, so I will
Yeah,
continue.
well, my mama gonna, Didi, I know she watching, so I know you don't tease her like that because she'll definitely be over.
I'm going to keep my eye up, and like I said, I'll dig my resources and see if that is true or if that's just a rumor. So again, Broadway Insurance, give them a call, 850-633-3460. They're located at 2867 Caledonia Street. Give them a call for any of your insurance needs. What do you have for national news, Byron?
Okay, so for national news, before I get into it, I want to talk about People's Funeral Home. Because they care, they're here when you need us. Long Granbury Funeral Services Incorporated, doing business as People's Funeral Home, Marianna and Battle Mortuary, Panama City, offers services that is within the reach of all. Their caring staff is available 24/7 or when the need arises. Their services are designed to commemorate the life being remembered at a price suitable for all. So please give Cephas and Gwen a call at 850-482-2233. That's 850-482-2233. Or simply stop by for more information as People's Funeral Home. So in my first story, I want to talk about this came from The Hill. It talks about current governor DeSantis. I know a lot of people know that he's been getting a lot of attention for being a potential presidential candidate for 2024. But also talking about the only Black Republican Senator Tim Scott, but also The Rock. So they're saying The Rock also, these three potential candidates could give President Trump a run for his money. So nobody has said whether or not they're going to run actually, but this is, everybody knows how it works. This short list provided by Mulvaney from Politico said that Mulvaney told Politico, he said that his first reported on his comments that people could definitely potentially challenge the former president, and alongside with DeSantis, they mentioned Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, also Senator Tim Scott. So with all this going on, a lot of people are thinking that because Governor DeSantis had such a close relationship with President Trump in the early beginning of his campaign, that maybe this might, help him or hurt him. But President Trump had came out and made a statement that, Ron was at 3%, and then the day I endorsed him. So he won the race. So he basically put it out there, he wouldn't have won without me. And so it's kind of got him in this little, this wavy situation, because if President Trump runs, then it's like, hey, I think, he still got that. Say it again.
You talking about Rick Scott. You talking about Tim Scott.
Tim Scott. Yeah, Tim Scott. Tim Scott. And he also flirted with it, and he's also flirted with the idea of being the running mate for President Trump. But like I said, none of them have came out. You know what it is people in their camps and people in their, within their circles are putting this out to the media and getting the media to talk about it. So I think they're trying to, dangle it out there and see what happens. But I'm probably the 80% that think that Governor DeSantis will run for president. The Rock, he's got this show out, and in the show he mentioned how, it'll be a great ending a next step for him to run for president. So it'll be interesting to see, man. Hey, he'll definitely be a Republican. So he's made these waves. So we'll see where it goes. 2024 definitely be exciting if you get The Rock in the game. I tell you that much.
Yeah, I think so. I think it. He should do it. Just
do it. Hey,
do it. Yeah.
All right. So my next story, Amazon. Amazon adds 5% fuel and inflation surcharge to the seller fees. So Amazon is taking this next step to offset its rising costs. They announced this past Wednesday that they will add that 5% fuel and inflation surcharge. The Seattle-based company said on its website that this would take effect April 28th. It is subject to change, but these latest fee hike, it follows from the effects of COVID-19 pandemic, increases in hourly wages and the hiring of workers and construction of more warehouses. But also Amazon's competitors, FedEx, UPS, both have fuel surcharges as well. So in a statement, they stated that in 2022, we expected a return to normalcy as COVID-19 restrictions around the world ease, but fuel and inflation have presented further challenges. Federal data released Tuesday show inflation jumped 8.5% in March, fastest pace in more than 40 years. Gasoline prices rocketed 48% in the past 12 months. So, it's one of these things that I was saying last week. You're going to start to see, businesses won't take the hit on themselves. They're going to put it on to the consumer. But the good news is, well, I guess what the good news is for us consumers, that is going to the sellers on the Amazon. Yeah. But once again, what are the sellers going to do? If they got to pay more, then they're going to charge more for whatever they're selling. Which Amazon has been faced with accusations of undercutting merchants that sell on its platform by making knockoffs or very similar products and then boosting their presence on the website. So, that's something they got to figure out, but be aware, which this story is kind of a good segue to my next one, which is Jamie Dimon. I hope I'm saying his name right. The JP Morgan Chase's CEO. He says he sees a storm cloud ahead for the U.S. economy. He's predicting, he's not officially saying it, but he's basically saying he's predicting another recession. So in his, interview that he did, he basically says that three main key points, the risk that the Federal Reserve accidentally tips the U.S. economy into recession as it combats inflation is rising. He basically says, I'm simply pointing out that those are storm clouds on the horizon that may disappear, may not. In the event that a recession does develop, the bank will have to put up a lot more for loan loss reserves. And in my opinion, I felt like the Fed, they went a little too early with hiking interest rates. They didn't anticipate this war in Ukraine with Russia, and also didn't anticipate the gas prices going up. So all of these things, you can't strain people in every direction, and in addition to that, we didn't count for once we started getting all this assistance due to the COVID-19 pandemic, that means more money is being printed. So the value of your money has went down. The adjustment is going to have to change in home values as well. So, for people out there that are going out and getting refinance and things like that, be careful, because values have to go up and adjust. We talk about how back in the day when gas was, way back in the day when gas was like $25 to fill up a car. Now it's, $5 a gallon, daggum near. You know what I'm saying? It's because of inflation.
But Barry, you know what? I read the other day, it said that there's some price gouging when it comes to the price of homes. So, inflation is up like 8.5%. However, the prices of homes in some areas are up 35, 55 to 60%.
Yeah, and so that was the reason I held back.
That's price gouging. Yeah,
I held back because I was going to go ahead and do a refi for lower interest rates, but then I held back because once the pandemic hit, I was like, well, wait a minute. If we getting these stimulus checks, that means it's got to mean more money is being printed. And when that happens, like I said, the value of the dollar goes down. If the value of the dollar goes down, that means the value of everything that is quote unquote valuable, i.e. homes, property, things of that such, it has to go up.
But I mean, but 35, if inflation is only 8.5%, and you're talking about increase of 35, 55, or 60%, that's price gouging. That's not inflation. That's what I'm saying. So it's not gouging.
And this is, if you remember, this is similar to what happened in the last recession. Last recession, you had a lot of homes that were being financed at these crazy rates. They were actually using the variable rate, and people that normally wouldn't be able to afford a home, that if they had it at a fixed rate would be $1,200 a month, and then boom, once the economy started changing, it all came out. So this is what he's saying. But he's basically saying, you know, it's hard to predict, but he's looking at that. He's basically saying that we had a Goldilocks moment of high growth coupled with manageable inflation that could last through 2023, but stubbornly high inflation and a host of possible impacts from Russia, it could cloud that picture. So he's saying just be prepared for it. He wouldn't be surprised if it did happen. So once again, you know, we have to, you know, keep a close eye on it, especially those that homeowners, people that are coming close to retirement. You got your IRA, your 401ks out there. Just keep a close eye on what's going on, because things are kind of fluctuating right now. But yeah. So that is it for me for national news. But before I leave, I want to talk about People's Funeral Home. Because we care, we are here when you need us. Long Granbury Funeral Services Incorporated, doing business as People's Funeral Home, Marianna and Battle Mortuary, Panama City, provides care that is within the reach of all. Their caring staff is available 24/7 or when the need arises. Their services are designed to commemorate the life being remembered at a price suitable for all. So please give Cephas and Gwen a call at 850-482-2233. Again, that's 850-482-2233, or simply stop by for more information. It's People's Funeral Home.
All right. We will move to sports, and I'm going to talk about women's basketball. I'm going to start with Vernette Skeete, who is from Malone, has been named the head coach of Texas Southern University's women's basketball team. So that is a huge accomplishment. She is from Malone, graduated from Malone High School in 2001, went on to graduate from Alcorn State in 2005, has had various coaching positions. At one point, she was a head coach of Gulf Coast. I think that year was 2012 to 2014. Byron, she also coached back at Malone from 2005 to 2008. So now she has been named the head coach of Texas Southern University. That is a huge opportunity. And if anybody knows her, let her know that we here at Bottom Line with Roni Byron say congratulations and we salute you. So
also, I've got two things. So just a caveat. That same, I forgot to mention it when we did the story the very first time about Sydney Carter, her coach. They both coach on the same team. Now they both got the same style, the same swag. So before y'all get out, I'm telling you right, don't even try it. Don't even say nothing about how she dressed or what she got on. You know, at Texas Southern, don't even go there. So it from around the world. It came from Byron on Roni Byron. Don't go at this, sister. I'm telling you, y'all gonna get it. I'm telling you now.
She's local. I mean, she's a native too.
Yep.
Homie.
But yeah, and I forgot to even mention that when we did the story. But yeah, she was right there. You know, so but and also, you know, just a side note, her brother, Vern, man, I remember being out here in these woods and playing basketball, and we getting these arguments, and then they say, "Oh, Vern could dunk this goal." Vern, I said, who is this Vern? So boom, he comes out of nowhere, he pull up, you know, hop out the car. Could have swore it was smoke just came all around him, man. He come in, we played ball all day, and that's what we did. You know, we do out here in these woods, just play, man. So yeah, congrats, and we know she's gonna do bigger and brighter things. And but don't y'all dare, I don't want to hear nothing about what she's wearing on the basketball court.
All right, well. So I'm going to keep it here on women's basketball and say that the WNBA has drafted its first player from an HBCU, Byron, in 20 years. Can you believe that? Wow. Its first player from an HBCU in 20 years. And her name is Amisha Williams Holiday. And she played at Jackson State. Cool. So
hold on, yeah. That's the same school with Dion coaches at, ain't it?
Jackson State University, exactly.
Putting in work. You see what happened. Yeah. You see what happened.
Yeah. So she's a center, and she was drafted in the 3rd round, 25th overall, by the Indiana Fever. So congratulations to Amisha Williams Holiday. So that's good. I mean, kind of sad, you know, that it took 20 years to get a recruit from HBCU in the WNBA, but it is what it is, Byron. It
Yeah,
is what.
yeah. But hey,
Um,
let this be a first of many. Let this be a first of many. So.
and speaking of draft picks from the women's college basketball, LeBron James pointed out a good point. So, they changed the rule for college basketball players. They only had to do 1 year before they were able to enter the draft. Mm-hmm. Well, the women still have to do 4 years, and they have to be 22. Is that right? That's not fair.
Yeah, I thought, that didn't make, I thought that went all the way across the NCAA board.
No, they still have to do 4 years removed, and they have to be 22 years old.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I felt like this for a while. A lot of it's almost like they try to make it like I said. I love watching women's basketball, women's softball. But when you're watching it, you can definitely see that there's no effort in making their sport and their activities the same energy and highlights the way they do for men. It's not a matter of they don't play as good or they're not as electrifying or not as fun to watch. You can definitely see a difference. And I hope this changes because
it's not
it ain't fair and it just ain't right. Right is right and wrong is wrong. But
I don't know if anybody, now that LeBron is saying something, maybe somebody look closely at it and say, hey, it's
gonna take more of that. But at the same time, maybe I don't know. Maybe players feel like if they did, do that more, it may hurt them. I don't see how, but I hope a lot more take on, take his lead and follow and voice that a lot, bring more. Yeah. Because I mean you could.
If it's a rule for men's basketball, then it should be the same rule for women's basketball in college. It should be across the board, like you thought. I don't think that either. I don't think I ever thought about it. I just think it transcended over to women's college basketball as well. When they changed the rule and said you can, only 1 year, you only have to be 19 before you can enter the draft. So, but no, that's not the same. They didn't change it for women's. You still have to do 4 years and have to be 22 years old before you can enter the draft.
It's almost like women are going through the separate but equal doctrine all the way over again. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, all right. So I'll get off my soapbox on women's basketball and move on to the NFL. I'm going to talk about Tom Brady. We all know that Tom Brady retired and then he came out of retirement shortly after. And so Michael Irvin recently came out and said he knows why Tom Brady came out of retirement. He said because when he retired and he was at home, he realized he was not the boss anymore. He said because there was someone at home telling him exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And sit there and watch TV or relax. She had a list, a honey-do list, which we're going to talk about in our relationship tea topic. But Byron, I wanted to just give that to you and to our viewers. Why do you think Tom Brady came out of retirement so quickly? It didn't last long at all.
For a second, I don't like to sound like a conspiracy guy, but I thought that it was one of those chess moves. I didn't think he cared much for the coach, Bruce Arians. And it's like if he says if he retires, then it's like, well, I might as well retire. And then, I'm coming back. Or the threat of retiring, he called the bluff. And then when he said he was, then now Bruce Arians retired. So he's coming back. I thought that for a second, but then I was watching one of those sports shows and one of the guys I think it was Skip and Shannon. And Shannon was saying, hey, he got home. And he realized, man, I can't do this. I'm bored already. I got to go back to work. And hey, when that's the one thing I noticed about great players and great athletes, for that matter, they stop when they are made to stop. They're not, if they have a choice, 9 times out of 10, most of them don't. There's only a handful of them that walk away, gracefully and just walk away from the sport. Most of them, they Ali, Tyson, a lot of them, they have to be made to, So I think that's one of the things with Tom Brady. It's probably gonna be a moment. I don't want to jinx him, but it's gonna probably be some way, whether it's his body or something where a doctor says you can't play no more. You're done.
Well, I just thought it was interesting what Michael Irvin's theory was, that, he was home trying to relax. And
I believe that now. I that's a good one too
hey,
now.
I need you to do this.
That's a
Hey,
good, but I'm gonna say that about that part for the relationship, because I'm close with him on that, because I understand that concept.
yeah, well, but that's all I have for sports. What do you have for entertainment?
So for entertainment, the comedy world had another big loss this week. Gilbert Gottfried, iconic comedian, dies at 67 after a long illness. For those who don't remember who Gilbert Gottfried is, he's played in a lot of things. He was at for a short stint. He was actually the voice of the duck on the was it Aflac commercials. But my favorite Gilbert Gottfried moment was in Beverly Hills Cop 1, where Eddie Murphy comes in and he's basically playing like he's the police, and he has a bunch of parking tickets and he's going to take him to jail. And Gilbert Gottfried in his scene, he offers a bribe, but the way he does it, it's super funny. He basically comes at him, he says, "What can I put in this hand that'll make what's in this hand? You just forget about it. Like, what is this? I don't know what it is." And so Eddie Murphy is like, "What, like $200?" He's like, "Ouch, you're breaking my arm." So it's a good scene. If you hadn't seen it, like, YouTube it. But a lot of comedians, a lot of actors, a lot of people came out in support and just, gave their condolences and gave their moments of what Gilbert Gottfried did for them. His family wrote in a statement on Twitter that we are heartbroken to announce the passing of our beloved Gilbert Gottfried after a long illness. He died. This was Tuesday at 2:35 p.m. He performed stand-up comedy for over 50 years, became known as the comedian's comedian because his live performance put aside political correctness while he delivers jokes that had no boundaries. So believe it or not, a lot of your current comedians, they get their style from Gilbert Gottfried. You have to watch his stuff and you'll see. But rest in peace to Gilbert Gottfried. And my next story, very interesting. Man moves into a cubicle after not being able to afford rent, ends up getting fired, which I can understand why. So it's a TikToker. His name is Chibuzor Ijimofo. He used the name Simon Jackson professionally, and he went viral. He went on because he didn't, due to inflation, he couldn't afford rent in Seattle. He decided, he knew it was they had an abandoned building that was, already not being used by the company he worked for. So he decided, hey, I'm gonna move in there and I'm gonna just crash in a cubicle on the job. But his problem was he went viral. He put it on TikTok. So it got almost over 12 million views. So the company finally finds out he hadn't been in there for about 3 or 4 days. And they tell him, hey, you got to either take this post down or we're going to fire you. So he selected the latter and lost his job. So you wanted a higher raise and better wages and end up losing your job.
So does that make sense, Byron? I mean, does that logical sense? Like,
yeah.
His end game was to get a raise, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't get that.
Yeah. So he's like, he said, honestly though, if I hadn't posted the videos on TikTok, I think I could have lived in the office for at least 6 months with no issue. But I think this is what was his main goal. He hopes to take his newfound viral fame and build his personal brand and his romper business. In the meantime, he'll be traveling and staying with different friends. So I guess it's gonna bum it up like Samuel Jackson said in Pulp Fiction, just gonna walk the earth. I guess that's what he's gonna do. And look, you messed up your for show money for some, more money, and it don't look like, I don't know if that was a good decision for my man, but hey, kudos to him. So that was a crazy story. I just wanted to put that out there. My last story, T.I. responds to being booed during his comedy set at the Barclays. So I just found this out. I didn't know. I thought, I thought it was just like rumor mill or people just making up something. But T.I., the rapper T.I., is actually trying to do, he's ventured off into doing comedy. So what actually happened is he made a guest appearance at the April Fool's Comedy Jam at the Barclays Center. So people thought he was actually coming to perform a lot of his current and his old hits. And the crowd just started booing. They didn't want to hear no jokes. They thought he was just wasting time just talking. So, if you've been to a lot of shows, like, hey man, quit all the talking. Let's get it going. And yeah, so other comedian Blackson, what is it? Michael Blackson? Michael Blackson was on Instagram, and he basically asked him, did you like, the feeling of being booed? And T.I. responded like, yes, he was like, I loved it. I didn't feel like they were booing me like that. I felt like they were booing me to say, I dare you to be more funny. I dare you to be more fun. I dare you to be better. So he, T.I.'s in this space where he don't care what people think. And he's trying to, go it all alone and do his thing. So I hope the best for him, but this is one of them things. I forget the other comedians. That's rich people problems right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, stick with where it got you. But who am I? Who am I to tell somebody not to follow their next dream? So, hey, I'm out here trying to do mine. So go ahead, and I hope the best for him. But T.I. is out here doing comedy, y'all. So if you want to see some jokes performed by T.I., or you'd rather him go back to the I'm Serious days, or 24. I hadn't seen the set, but he's been, a lot of comedians have made a lot of funny sets about him because he likes to use big words. Okay. And so I think he's using that in his set. I haven't seen his set yet. I think he's kind of still testing the waters, but it's kind of hard for him to test those waters like that in nightclubs when it's T.I.
He's already branded. I mean,
yeah. Other comedians, they can go to small nightclubs and test out new material, and they're expected to because they're known for doing comedy. But he can't hide nowhere and just do comedy and test stuff out. So I don't know. I think he's just going through a phase. It's kind of like what artists go through, that one album phase that you like, what is this? And they just trying to do something new. I think he's just going through something, and he have to weather that storm. You never know, though. You never know. He may scratch a hit just like he did in music. So that's it for me for entertainment.
Yeah. Well, we'll move on to our relationship tea topic, and we'll propose this question to husbands. How do you feel about your honey-do list? And we're going to piggyback on the topic of Tom Brady's retirement.
Yeah, so the caveat, like back on, I remember, I'm not trying to make it an analogy, but it's similar in the way the what he's going through. So when I came back from my first deployment, no, actually it was both, but definitely when I came back from my first, but when I came back from my second, it was even more. You get stuck into this time frame where you remember everything and how things operated before you left, and especially being a dad, being the head, and everything goes through you. But as a when I came home, hey, my wife was the boss. She's always the boss, but I had a role. That role was gone. So when I came back home, it was like everything was moving without me. Everybody going to get in the car, and I'm like, hey, go and get in the car. They was used to mama telling them, first one, last one, they get in, and they had a whole routine. I was like, well, where I'm at, I might as well go, and I've known a lot of guys. I'm not going to say no names, but I know a lot of guys that jump back on other deployments, because they was like, yeah, but they'll make it seem like they, they got paid to, but yeah, it's they wanted to, because it was like, man, this is, and the same thing with Tom. It may be like he come home and it's like, hey, this is, that's her lane and she's been running it. So you're not gonna jump in because nobody's gonna respond to him. Like, hey, let's nah, that's not really how it rolls, Dad. You know.
Well, Michael Irvin seemed to think it's because he was given all these things to do. So he was, Tom Brady, so used to being in charge, being the one that tells other people what to do, right?
Yeah, so that's another one.
Yeah, his wife is the boss, and as he just wants to probably relax and chill. And I've seen this in my own household, and we don't give you guys. I'm speaking as a wife. Okay, we don't give you guys honey-do lists. That's what we call them, because we just want to keep you busy. We're giving them to you because, for one, we probably can't do it, and so it's something that we need to get done. So we need you guys to do it. It's just it just happens sometimes. Here's the thing: is that sometimes we don't bother you for a certain period of time, so the list grows. And so it's just not like we give them to you all at one time, and it may seem like it's a lot, but we try to do that to kind of spare you sometimes, to space it out. But it just seems like it may be a laundry list of things to do. But we're really, for me, whatever I can take care of, I do it. But then if I see that you're gonna, my husband's gonna be home and he has some time, and then I'm gonna say I got these three things, just these three things to do. 1, 2, and 3, A, B, and C. Can you get that done for me? I just want to watch. No, I understand that, but can you get these things done first? And then you can watch TV.
You know what, right? You just finessed the whole. You finessed that whole topic, man. I can't mess with you. I got to learn from the master because you sure finessed that one. That what I ain't gonna do. I don't feel like doing, and you go get up and do this. That's what that is. I've been waiting for you to come because this is what you gonna do. And you ain't got no choice. We ain't got no choice in the matter. We definitely don't. We can stretch it out as far as we can, but at some point we gotta get on up and do it. But
we'll flip the script, and you'll see us in there doing inside work, just busy. Then you guys probably feel a little guilty, like if you sitting there watching TV and we're busy inside, whether it's dusting or mopping or whatever, laundry. And like, hey, I kind of asked you if you can go outside and pick up those limbs.
Well, that's the thing with me. I'm different. I don't have no problem with that. I do more in the house than I do out the house, to be honest with you. Because like I say, as my mama raised me, so them Saturdays and stuff like that. Anita Baker start playing, and hey, let the bleach and the pine soil get cracking. You know what I'm saying? First thing in the morning. So I'm used to it. And if I wanted to go anywhere, I wanted to do anything, that whole house had to be clean, dust, mop, dishes clean, everything. So car wash, car detail, all of them. So yeah, I'm different on that end. So but outside, hey. I've got, but YouTube been my best friend though, because of this, the whole and do list. The YouTube been my best friend because I feel like a Mr. Fix It. I feel like what's the brother on Living Single? I feel like the handyman when you actually fix something. You're like, all right, man, I did something. Got my role. So it's a plus side to that honey-do list. I will say, because we do need to feel needed. At the same time, it's just how you doing it, how you massaging it. Yeah. That's how you get it done. We just gotta feel needed. You know what I mean? And
women don't give it to them.
Don't boss it out. Yeah, don't boss it out. Just
don't try not to. I know sometimes it's a lot that needs to get done.
Yeah.
And everybody's busy during the week, so you do have to kind of cram it in on the weekends.
Yeah, and even when I know it's game, it do feel good when it's like, now look at my baby. He didn't fix the dog.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do it. Yeah, that's a good feeling. So yeah.
I can't do it. So can you do that? I can't do it. Yeah.
It's only when you bump into another man in Lowe's is when you realize you just been had. Oh, you got that list, huh? Nah, it was just a few things. Yeah, she got me.
The honey-do list. So, husbands, don't get offended. when you get your honey-do list. Just, just get it done,
Yeah.
and
I say pace it out, man. Just pace it out. Just do a little bit, because then when you do everything, that's what gets you mad. You did everything. You sit down. Next Saturday, you think you ain't got nothing, then she got another one for you. Like,
just space it out, and then it'll all work out. It'll all be fine. And
I'll tell you one funny story. My cousin, he had I think he had a honey-do list to fix the lawnmower, but slick style, he had got somebody else to do it, and didn't tell it. So when we got back, she was praising him up. She's like, oh, my baby did found out somebody else did. Now here I was, then praised you up and did all that. And he was like, he got caught with it. But that was the funniest thing in the world to see that happen. Where he was like, man, I was in the good for weeks till she found out I paid another guy to fix the daggum lawnmower.
Wow. Well, so Tom Brady, I kind of, believe what Mike Irvin is saying. There's some truth. Tom Brady probably didn't want to do all those chores. Like his wife was like, hey, because if he's been gone all these years, I'm sure she's like, man, this is cool. Hey, can you go do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? And he's like, you know what? This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah, I ain't with that. Yeah. And probably, how guys, everybody got that one code and they click, that the one that the one you shouldn't be listening to, but you'll listen to him anyway. And man, just go back. It ain't no, you just tell him you're coming back. And he probably just went on ahead with it instead of just adjusting. Because we all gonna have to do it. You have to adjust to changes in your life. And he did it with his diet. He did it with adjusted to his older age. It's a different phase in his life. But if he can play, all right, go ahead and play. But I'm big. Preserve your body, because he's got to preserve himself for the next chapter. That's how I look at it.
Well, he is 44, so I guess,
man. I mean,
maybe he's gonna play until he gets 50. We'll see.
To
avoid the honey-do list. So husbands, don't avoid the honey-do list. Just get it done. Okay.
Yeah, just gonna do it, man. Be honest though, he can't have. I mean, come on, you can't have much of a honey-do list. I mean. She got more money than him. What, he got to call the repairman to come over? I mean, he ain't gonna do it himself.
It could be anything. It could be, hey, that knob is loose, or hey, can you go run to the store? I got a plan for this party, or I got to some snacks for the kids. Can you go do that for me?
And it's another. I'll tell you another thing too. Players go through the same stuff we do in the military. Like when you used to being around. For me, it used to being around 250, 300 guys. And it's loud. You can't be somewhere where it's just dead quiet all the time. You used to always getting up and going, hey, and it's always somebody that's like, hey, let's go over here, let's go do this. Or, if things are very high strung, you're hearing bombs going off all the time. You got your own. Once you get to where it's like quiet and super, you can't operate. You have to leave the TV on. It's different things. Like, so he might be in that space where he's just like, I can't do this.
Just need the surrounding.
Just need, and it's not the job. A lot of times people think it's the job. It's not so much the job. It's the people. It's the people you work with. It's the camaraderie. It's that environment that keeps you there. Because then like you said, Michael Irvin said, once you've been the boss and people grovel to you, and then you come home and you ain't getting that.
Not the boss.
Yeah, it's hard for me.
Yeah,
it's hard for me. I'm used to coming in a room. It's 100, E4 or belows in the room, and I say, give me 10. I got 100 people running to me, and I'm picking out 10. I tell my kids, hey, go pick that up, and everybody moving slow, and then I'm and then they're like, what's wrong with you? Y'all don't understand. You got to move when I say move. So it's different. It's different.
Well, we'll see. But anyway, I guess she has to. Give her honey-do list to someone else. But men, again, just get the list done. Don't complain. Just get it done. All right. And women, you can help if there's something that you can help with, whether it's holding something or, reading something.
Yeah, just have a reward for when you know how to do this.
Yeah, you can do that too. All right, that's gonna wrap up our show for this week. We thank everyone for watching and for your support and for letting us know that you watched the show. We really appreciate you so much. So we're going to end the show today. And remember, when you know the truth, you can speak the truth. and the light shines brighter when it shines for two. We'll see you next week.